Bruno Mars, the holder of 15 Grammys, has had 8 of his songs break #1 on the Billboard Top 100, and even made it into the prestigious Top 100 by Times Magazine. He has had one of the fastest-growing music careers of any artist in the world, second only to Elvis and Michael Jackson. On October 8, 1985, a Filipino-Puerto Rican American known as Peter Gene Hernandez was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, to a drummer from New York and a dancer and singer from the Philippines. He had 5 other siblings. His father nicknamed him Bruno Sammartino after a famous wrestler, the reason being because he was a chubby baby. When he was only 4, he joined his family's band called the Love Notes. They were relatively small acts that would entertain tourists at a beach center by doing old classics, doo-wops, and even celebrity impressions, the latter of which young Bruno was particularly adept at. In fact, he was so good that he got attention from around the U.S. The youngest Elvis impersonator was what they would call him. In 1997, his parents got divorced, and his father's many attempts at business failed. It's safe to say that they couldn't even afford a house and were forced to move into the slums of Hawaii, where he, his brother, and father lived out of a car. As he got older, he took up many other skills. For one, he could also impersonate Michael Jackson, but he also had a knack for music. He taught himself drums, piano, and even the guitar he had even learned, and had started a small band with some school friends. The schoolboys would play at the same beach center that Bruno's family band used to play. Music was Bruno's calling, and music was what he was going to pursue. In 2003, when he was just 18 years old, he moved to Los Angeles, where he would be a star. Oh, so he thought. His first contract at Motown Records fell through almost immediately. Turns out you need a portfolio to get steady work in show business. Thus, he decided to sell himself as a freelance writer, where he would work on songs like Right Round by Flo Rida, Long Distance by Brandy, Lost by Jason Ma, and Wavin' Flag by Kanan. He even took up production for Flo Rida, Brandy, B.O.B., Travie McCoy, and others. This gave him the portfolio and reputation that he lacked before. And in 2010, there was an explosion. Doo-wops and hooligans. Bruno Mars's first album was released to critical acclaim, as it held #1 for 3 weeks on the UK Albums Chart, #3 on the Top 100 billboards, and remained one of the top-selling albums for a few years. This album was a soulful connection to his past, incorporating genres like doo-wop, reggae, and funk into a soundscape that could have only been made by him. After this album, he released 2 other albums, Unorthodox Jukebox in 2012 and 24K Magic in 2016, following a similar trajectory to his first album. They crushed it in terms of sales and sat as #1 on a couple of charts. However, in between these massive successes was a tragedy. Bruno's mother, Bernadette San Pedro Bayo, died from a brain aneurysm in 2013. Despite this, unfortunately, Bruno Mars would enjoy some of his most prosperous years. Because within that same year, he had managed to bag himself as the headliner for the Super Bowl 48 halftime show, performing with the special guest, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. At that time, it was the most halftime show in history. This succeeded the next year with the super hit that was Uptown Funk by Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars. It held #1 on Billboard's Top 100 for 14 whole weeks, and numerous different charts across the world. It has been one of the best-selling songs of that year, and had even won the Grammy Award for Record of the Year in 2016. Almost everything he touched was an instant hit, and artists were clamoring to collaborate with him. Nothing on You, Young, Wild, and Free, and Die with a Smile. Each of these collaborations have been a major hit. Just this year, Bruno's newest collaboration with Rosé from Blackpink, a PT. Swing, a song named after the short Korean word for an apartment, has hit #1 on several charts including Billboard's Top 200, and the song has even blown up on the internet where it has become the backing track for numerous short videos. It's safe to say that every song that Bruno touches is bound to be famous. However, despite being one of the most famous musicians in the world, little is known about his personal life and lifestyle after doo-wops and hooligans. However, we do know this. When it comes to his money, he is much less flashy with his spending compared to most other celebrities, choosing to live a fairly low-key lifestyle spent mostly in the studio working on his hit or collaborating with other artists. However, he isn't prudent. He is known to own at least 4 luxury cars: a Rolls-Royce Wraith, a Chevrolet Corvette, an Audi S5, and even a Ferrari. On top of that, he owns a $6.5 million mansion in Los Angeles and several other homes across the U.S. Bruno Mars is often seen fitted in expensive clothes from leading designers and world-famous brands like Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Saint Laurent. His styles embrace bold and colorful fits with highly contrasting designs. And if you're going to wear nice clothes, you might as well wear some custom high-end jewelry. He's been seen wearing lots of jewelry of various varieties, styles, and materials ranging from diamond rings, necklaces, and bracelets. He's been known to hold private parties and events, hosting for his wide circle of celebrity friends, and he's been known to even own private jets. That came quite a long way from living in a car out in the middle of a slum. Speaking of which, don't think that you can forget where he came from. Going through his life experiences, he's seen the best and worst living conditions that people can live, and he has a lot of empathy for those less fortunate than him. That's why he's known to donate large sums of money to charities helping underprivileged families and children, and those to disaster relief funds. In conclusion, Bruno Mars is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Raised by a family of performers and famous at even a young age, Bruno has always been acquainted with the nature of the entertainment business. He took this experience and knowledge and carried it all the way to music superstardom, where he works on music for his own projects, and with his friend Anderson .Paak on a musical project called Silk Sonic. His career is the living embodiment of why hard work, passion, and dedication to craft are the only real secrets anyone needs to become a successful person in life.